Plan versus actual versus previous period. That's the cornerstone of the monthly review. If there's one thing you take away from monthly review, it should be that. So what is a monthly review? The monthly review is an opportunity for you and your management team, your leadership team, your partner to look at how your business did. And what does that mean? And as the CEO of Palo Alto Software, I'll tell you, it is the secret to me sleeping at night. The monthly review is kind of like that point in time when I look at what's going on with the business and there's a sigh of relief of like, I know what's happening. It's not always good, right? Businesses have ups and downs and things don't always go the way you want them. But by every month sticking to a monthly review process, I know where the company is at. And not only do I know, but everybody on my management team knows. And we can make decisions about how we're going to tackle obstacles, hurdles, or really good news. Because sometimes with really good news, you need to scramble and you need to do things. But we get to do that on a regular basis. And the more that we do that, the better we manage the business. So sometimes I get asked, who should be doing a monthly review? I really think everybody, but what does that mean? So let's say you're in an idea stage and you're not sure if you're starting your business. If you are still in that idea stage, you might want to review your plans. What do you need to move forward? As you move into actual startup, now you've gotten maybe some financing, you're starting to spend money. At that point, it becomes critical to start this monthly review. And the more that you actually do it in a regular basis, the better it is for your business, the easier it is for you, and the better decisions and information come from that monthly review. So it's not just for large companies. It's not just for companies that have been around for 10 years. The monthly review is just a way to be disciplined about looking at what is the business doing and what did you want the business to do and what are you learning from it? So why is it important for you to do a monthly review? I've already mentioned a lot of different reasons, but I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it's very important to your business and to the health of the future of your business to do a monthly review. First of all, it gives you time to review your financials and make sure that your team and you understand where you are, where you might have fallen short, and where there's some opportunities that you might be able to take advantage of. It also helps bring up potential issues if there's variances in those financials, right? You planned something and it didn't quite happen, or you were going to open a location and that location opening is delayed. Why? It allows you to examine what are those issues and how do you mitigate them and make a plan going forward. And then number 3, it really guides your plan and your strategy. You've put something together for your business and now you're taking time to take a look at that. Am I on track? Are things going the way I want them to go? We know that things don't always go the way we want them to go. I mean, all we have to look back at is March of 2020 and see that there are sometimes things that are thrown at us that we had no idea were coming, right? So here you are, March of 2020, COVID happens, your plan's got to adjust. Things will continue to happen in the future that you can't control, but having a plan and then reviewing it allows you to mitigate and make small adjustments to keep that business on track and to keep your business financially healthy, because at the end of the day, that's how you stay in business. What should you actually do in a monthly review? So the most important part, I think, is the financial review. So when you're looking at your financial statements, because you want to dig into those, the first thing you do is look at the top line performance across all of your financial statements. Starting with the revenue, right? How are you making money? What are you selling? Hopefully you have a forecast and you've got some categories. So let's say you're running a coffee shop. You're selling espresso drinks, maybe you're selling teas, you're selling baked goods. Those are your 3 revenue lines, right? Just to make it easy. You want to look at that revenue. How are your coffee sales going? Are they better than you thought? Are they worse than you thought? Once you understand the revenue side, plan versus actual versus previous period, then you're really going to want to get into what is it costing me to sell, right? So what's your margin? What's the direct cost? Maybe coffee beans have all of a sudden gotten way more expensive and you haven't factored that into your plan. By doing that monthly review, looking at those numbers, it'll allow you to take action and potentially make you see, oh wow, we've got to raise our prices because the bespoke coffee beans we get from Guatemala have now gone up in price to us by 20%. So if we don't raise our prices by 20%, we're going to be in trouble. You want to look at personnel. How are you doing with that? Maybe you're overstaffing. Maybe you have too many people and there's an opportunity to think about optimizing. Maybe you're always working because you don't have enough people. You've got to look at your personnel. You got to look at your expenses. How are your expenses doing? Sometimes when we have a revenue number that's not quite what we wanted, maybe we didn't make the sales that we wanted, you can correlate that to not having spent the money in advertising or marketing or supporting those sales. So you want to really look at those expenses and as much as possible tie your expenses to that revenue. And you really want to think about, okay, did the things I spend, do those correlate in sales? And if not, can I make some changes? Again, all the context of every single one of these pieces of your financials is plan versus actual versus previous period. And then at the end of the day, we always want to look at our profit and loss, right? Where are we on profitability? Because if you don't run a profitable business, then it's not really a business, right? Your business has to be profitable, i.e. making money for you in order for you to keep running it. So you need to look at profitability. In a startup, you may plan for 1, 2, or even 3 years of not being profitable because that's what it takes to ramp up. But you need to really keep check of that profitability. So we've got to look at our profit and loss. And then the other piece that's vitally important is your cash flow and your cash balance. Where are you with cash? Are you better or worse than expected? And this is very important because you can run unprofitable, but you cannot run without cash in the bank, right? So that's the last piece and almost the most important. And again, where are you? Plan versus actual versus previous period. Are you gaining with your cash or are you continuing to have more and more trouble? And if you are, can you dig in why? Maybe you need to get paid more quickly. Maybe you need to ask your vendors to give you 30 days to pay instead of paying them in 15 days. Okay, now we're going to look at what do we look at beyond our financials. You want to kind of dig in where you might have seen in the financials things that are going really, really well or really poorly. Let's say that your coffee drinks are just going nuts and that category of coffee drinks looks great. Well, why? Is it all espresso drinks? Then you dig in beyond that top line and maybe you understand, oh, actually, it's not espresso at all. We introduced this fabulous coconut matcha that everybody loves and we can charge a premium on the coconut milk and it actually is really profitable from a margin perspective. And that's why that revenue line is going nuts. If you don't look at it and you don't examine it, you might miss that and you might not realize because maybe what you need to do is add more matcha drinks now that you've understood that. What can you learn from those variances and dig into the details because that's where the real gems of this monthly financial review come in. So the last 2 parts of your monthly review meeting are actually pretty simple once you've gotten through all of this. At this point, you need to have time to reevaluate your plan and potentially come up with some what-if scenarios. In the scenario I talked about with the matcha being very profitable, you might actually want to rethink things and introduce more products to sell. And that's going to be a change in your plan. This is the time to do that. This is why we do these monthly reviews. It allows you to look at what's going well and multiply what's going well if that makes sense. Review and revise is a vital part of the monthly review meeting. It's not just about looking at what happened, it's about taking action and making those decisions. Now, the last one is take some time with your leadership team, your management team. Maybe it's your employees, maybe it's your spouse if it's a small business, but talk about other company issues and make sure there's time to surface those. Are there personnel issues? Are there things that are making employees happy or sad? Are there issues surrounding the hours that you're open? Maybe there's employees saying, hey, when we get here in the morning, there's a line of people waiting for us to open. Maybe we should open earlier. Just give yourself a little time to actually open the floor to the people running your business with you, and make sure that they have time to add ideas and air any issues or, good or bad that they may have. So let's talk about how do you actually make sure that these meetings happen and they're productive for you? Number one, I know it sounds simple, but put it on the calendar as a recurring meeting. Pick a time. We do it the third Thursday of every month. It allows our CFO to close the prior month and make sure that our financials are ready for us. And it's a regular time that everybody knows, everybody has that time, and no one is surprised. If other people need to bring stuff to present, they're ready to go because it is a monthly recurring meeting. Again, sounds simple, but put it on the calendar, keep it on the calendar. Then I've already mentioned this, but I just want to emphasize it. Your financials for that previous month that you're looking at, right? We're in September right now. We're looking at August. August has to be closed. That means all revenue, all expenses, everything that happened in August has to be in your accounting software and closed and done so that you can actually look at the financial performance. You don't want to be doing a monthly review and then have your accountant, your bookkeeper, or your CFO say, oops, I forgot that $5,000 sale. It really is not going to help you out. Then follow a repeatable agenda. Make sure that this is a meeting that is systematic, that you know what you're going to do and everybody else who comes to the meeting knows what's going to be there. That way there's no surprises and everybody's prepared. The last part is how you're going to do it. What systems are you going to use? There's lots of different tools you can use. We think LivePlan's a great tool. We've built in a monthly review feature. It really coincides with your accounting software. We have a dashboard you can look at. The monthly review is powered by AI to give you analysis and next steps. And it's just a great way to have a consistent monthly review with a software tool that's designed to do this. If you do this and you keep these 4 simple tricks, I can guarantee you that you're going to find productive monthly review meetings, but also every month will be easier and every month you'll get better information and make better decisions.